Welcome to Cardboard Box Games. I'm Adam.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Adam. This is episode 18 where we're going to be talking about chains. Mm-hmm. And as always, we really appreciate any subscribers and any likes that we get for all of our videos and podcasts. So let's jump right into it. Alright, we start off every week with Card of the Week. Mm-hmm. So Adam, we'll start with you. What's your Card of the Week?
My card is a Sanctum card. It's called Oath of Poverty. So once you play this card, it's an action card. You gain an amber, and when you play it, it destroys each of your artifacts. Gain 2 amber for each artifact you destroy this way.
That's interesting.
And it's a rare card.
And you gain an amber for playing it.
You gain 2 amber for each. Yep, you gain an amber for playing. Yeah, and gain 2 amber for each artifact you destroy.
Is it just destroy your artifacts? I can't remember.
Only your artifacts, yeah.
Oh, so potentially, if you had 2 artifacts, you have enough for a key.
You can get, well, it'd be 2, 4, 5 amber.
Yeah.
So, I have this card in one artifact deck, and the one artifact I have is it's a Logos card that lets you
battle.
Lets you
draw a card.
Draw a card, yes.
Yeah, library model.
Yeah, library model. Or yeah. So I don't know if it's good in that deck. I mean, I've used it on my artifact before. Try to gain a key. And
only gained 3 amber and all up just doing that.
Yeah, but with other cards too in my hand. But I feel like it's kind of a dead weight in my deck because that artifact is really good. You get to draw a card, but when I use this card to destroy
something
it,
up for 2 amber seems like something you'd want to do into the game.
probably yeah.
Like you don't want to I don't know.
Yeah. Besides, it only has 1 artifact, so if only the deck had like 3 or 4 artifacts, that would actually.
But still, you're blowing up your artifacts that take some time to get going. And
It does, yes.
I mean, maybe if they were like Secret Needles or Hallowed Blasters or things like that don't matter that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. I think I've ran across that one in decks before, but I don't think I've ever played with a deck that had it in there. So
Yeah.
there is a new card that Martians, called Martians Make Good Allies or Bad Allies. I can't remember the name. But anyway, it is it's an action card in the new set where you lose all your amber, but you draw 2 cards for every amber you lose that way.
Wow.
And that just kind of reminds me of that because
it's like Mars turning to Logos.
But Mars you lose 2 amber, you draw 4 cards. That's pretty amazing. Oh, and the card gives you an amber for playing it, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
So
you automatically just
draw 2 cards.
Could that be an infinite combo? Like if you had like a key abduction in your deck, could you somehow make that?
It'll be interesting if Key Abduction goes into the next set because I haven't seen that that's been announced yet.
Probably not.
All right, Andrew, what's your card of the week?
It's an untamed card. You gain an amber for playing this card, and it's called Nature's Call. Return up to 3 creatures to their owner's hand. This card is awesome. If you have an urchin on a play, just return them next turn later, play them again. Or if your enemy has
Dust Pixies.
Yeah, Dux Pixies also. Also, when your opponent has tons of upgrades on their guys, then you just return them back to your hand and just
The upgrades fall out, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good card for sure.
It's very versatile because it gives you amber.
It does.
For playing it, but it also says up to, which means you can play it and return nothing.
You could.
You can return your opponent's. You can return yours. There's just a lot of
outcomes.
There's
And
a lot
synergies
of
you can do.
stuff that you can do there, which is awesome.
Powerful.
And then you can think, man, next turn I think I'm gonna play Shadows, and you're right. Return my Urchin. Return my maybe potentially my Chota again because I want to forge a key. It's just a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
All right. So mine is a Dis action that is uncommon. It gives you 1 amber for playing it. And the reason I picked this is because I played against a deck on the Crucible that had 2 of them, and I was really devastated by how good this card actually turned out. But it's called Poltergeist.
Oh, that card.
Use an artifact controlled by any player as if it was yours, and then you destroy that artifact. So here's where my game started. Turn 1, Lash of Broken Dreams. I'm like, this is awesome. They did their turn 1. Poltergeist blow up my Lash of Broken Dreams. I'm like, no! I'm like, okay, well at least that's out. Turn 3, I played my Dominator Bobble and get that online. And their very next turn, they poltergeist that too, and I'm like, I'm not going to have any of my good artifacts coming around in this game. It was crazy. And that's a card that I would love to have one of in every disc deck. Because not only do you get to use it and have the effect from it, you get to blow it up, and you get an amber for playing it. That card is just amazingly powerful to me.
We need more cards that can just get rid of artifacts also, so...
So, and to be clear, with Flash of Broken Dreams, you tap it, and then the opponent's keys cost +3 for the whole turn, right?
Yeah, the whole turn.
The whole turn.
Yeah, so it's not just the beginning, it says for your opponent's turn. Alright, so I think that's it for card of the week. Going over to like our main topic, one thing that we've been thinking a lot about is that we haven't talked a lot about chains.
Yeah.
And what's really unique about KeyForge is the chain mechanic as a whole. Because you can have a deck that is extremely good, supposedly get balanced by adding chains to it.
Yeah.
And playing a deck that isn't. So, I mean, first off, I'm trying to think of other games that have balancing mechanics like that. If you think of Magic the Gathering, and you think of Pokemon, and you think of Yu-Gi-Oh! They don't have any mechanics like that I know of.
No.
I can't think of any balancing mechanic that's similar to chains in any other game. So to me, chains are fantastic. They're like a fantastic idea. But we wanted to put it a little bit to the test.
Yeah.
So we started by letting Adam and Andrew duke it out. Andrew's deck currently has 8 chains on it.
Correct.
From playing in tournaments. So we wanted Adam to find maybe our lowest SAS rating deck that he could. Like just a really bad deck. It didn't have to be necessarily the lowest, but just not a good deck.
Yeah.
And we wanted to start playing Adam's deck against Andrew's deck. And why don't you guys talk about how that went?
So, we decided to start... Did we do 8 chains first or 12?
Yeah, we did the chains you already had first. And I lost completely right away. Then the second round we did was with Andrew having 12 chains, and actually won that time. And it felt like pretty even. But then the next 2 times playing with 12 chains, he destroyed me. But at the beginning, when he had 2 less cards, it felt pretty even the whole game. My deck was super slow, so I couldn't get everything out there right away.
Yeah.
To gain much amber. And then when he went down to losing only 1 card, he just destroyed me.
I will tell you, when you get up to that second tier where you're losing 2 cards a turn,
It's awful.
that is really hard.
It's awful.
And it takes a long time to come back from that.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Like, I think
Chains are good. I mean, I'm happy. They balance things out.
I'm happy with chains too. I guess I would have expected... I don't think chains 1 through 6 matter as much as what I originally
I don't think
thought.
so either, no.
Yeah.
Because I used to not want to play, like, a card that would give me 1 chain. You know what I mean? Like, I remember early on when I was just like, chains are bad. But honestly, I don't think the first 6 chains matter. I mean, they matter.
They do matter, but they don't
not
do that
as much as what I originally thought.
Yeah.
So what I've been thinking of, is there like any other way to like lower deck or make it more balanced out?
I don't really think so.
So I was thinking in my head, maybe they just stay with -2 cards the whole game.
Oh my gosh, that'd be brutal.
Like,
imagine if you never lost your chain.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be awful.
The chains would be really... So, like, even, like, 1 chain. Like, if you gained any chains and never lost them, that would be hard.
I'm just talking about the power levels, though. Like, once you get to a certain power level, then you stay there, you know?
Yeah, you don't lose them.
You don't lose any cards.
I mean, I feel like the fact that you were able to beat his deck, and I bet if we added on... Let's say we went to like 18 chains, you would have an easier time to beat him.
Yeah, easier time. Yeah.
I think it's a really good balancing mechanic. I think. So the next thing that we did, Andrew and I played each other in a reversal. No, not reversal. Adaptive tournament. Making sure I'm thinking of it, but basically the one that we did, I can't remember the names right now. It's not reversal. We both picked a deck. I picked a random deck off our shelf to play.
We both picked random.
Andrew picked a random deck off the shelf to play. We played it out. Andrew won the first game. Then we switched decks, and then I won the next game. So we were 1-1. Then we got to bid chains on which deck we wanted to play. So it was clear that the deck that he won with and the one that I won with was better.
Yeah, because
So we started both bidding chains onto it. I think you started with 5 chains.
I started with 5, and then
I went to 6.
Then I went to 7,
And then I went to 8.
and then I stopped there.
And then you stopped. And I just will say I got obliterated with the deck that was clearly better. So that shows me like the adaptive format, if I'm using the right name, is actually takes a lot of skill because you have to not only diagnose like how much better you think a deck is, but you also have to like be able to put a number on that. Mm-hmm. Like in my mind, I was thinking 9 chains. I think I can win this. You know, like if you would have went up, I would have been very tempted to go up again because I thought it was that significant of a difference. But what I did not foresee is how painful it was to be down 2 cards for as long as I was at 9 chains.
Yeah.
So it was like it just kept me down. You know, 3 or 4 turns of not. So it would have been. I went from
You just like played 1 to 2 cards every turn.
every turn. That's all I could play.
So you actually took the deck? You did 9 chains?
I spent 9 chains and I ended up.
I realized like you're
And I
making a
lost.
huge mistake. Like I felt like 7 chains was like the limit for me.
Well, you went 8.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
just to be clear, so Adam got 9 chain.
I had 9
You
chains.
picked 9 chain on the deck.
Yeah.
So you picked the deck that was better between the 2.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you picked the other deck. You had to pick the other deck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to.
Okay, you didn't make that clear to me.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I lost.
You
And
lost.
I lost. I don't even know if I got
It was
a key.
3-0.
Yeah. Because it, like Andrew was saying, I literally was playing 1 to 2 cards. 'Cause I mean, most of the time in my hand, early in the game, I only had 4 cards, or I'd get up to 5 cards, and then it was like,
When you got no chains on left, I had like 20 amber or like something like that with my deck.
yeah, I didn't have enough amber control to come back, and
Yeah.
he had crazy amounts of creatures, and
I had like 10 creatures on the board.
yeah, it was,
It's insane.
and like, so what I would do is I'd be playing 2 cards, and he would play 3, and then I'd play 2 cards again, and he would play 3. So he was outnumbering me cards every turn, and I was paying attention to that. So like there were sometimes he could play 4 cards, and I would be lucky to play 2 or 3. You know what I mean? So it was just you go after 8 turns, because I'm counting 8, but 7 or 8 turns of him playing 1 extra card than me. That just adds up really quickly.
Yeah.
So it really works. It works really well, and I will say the adaptive format is so much fun to play.
It is really fun.
It's like a whole new skill level, and I would like to actually do some more of that, where we just grab 2 random decks, we battle it out, switch decks, battle it out, and then like if it's tied, we bid chains on who wins, on what deck we want.
Yeah.
Because we can tell them more.
I probably should have stopped at 8 chains. Is the thing, because you honestly going to a vault tour or something, if that was the main event that we were going to go to in Atlanta, like we would want to practice that a lot because there is definitely a skill level involved with trying to figure out how many chains to bid.
Yeah.
So I think moving on, you know, I asked the question, or I posed kind of how I feel a little bit at the beginning already, but I guess, you know, now that you have 8 chains, Andrew, do you feel like your deck is harder to play, it's weaker to play?
Well,
Probably the first like 2 turns, and then not as weak.
I would say so. I would always try to start off first so that I can already get rid of 2 chains. But sometimes that does not happen and it's just awful. So I would usually, if I went second and I didn't get artifact, I'd mulligan, try to get an artifact. If I don't get an artifact, then I'm just in a really bad position. It makes my deck really weak.
So do
That's
chains do affect it?
It does a lot. It does so much damage.
It's interesting because, you know, when I think back to this, I think of 8 chains, and I played with 9 on that deck. And I think of how good the deck is that Andrew plays. And Andrew can still win against decks that have no chains on it, that are pretty good decks, competitive decks. And he talks about that on Crucible, because then you have some people complaining to you on Crucible about how good your deck was.
Yeah. Some people already like quit in the middle of the game to also.
Yeah.
It's like,
Didn't they? I mean, I don't know if this is possible, but didn't you say somebody asked you to put chains on your deck?
yeah. I was able to put chains on my deck. There's like this mode or something. It's like
Manual mode?
yeah, manual mode. Like you can like add chains, add amber, add the power of the chains, like 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't know how to really do that at the beginning though. I don't think you can.
You have to like get them to approve it to put you in the manual mode.
Exactly.
So what we were thinking is like it'd be cool if you could in the Crucible just toggle something on to say use the chains that you have from like tournament level. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be, yeah.
So yeah, you are able to add chains. I was gonna keep on going up, and he's like, no, stop. It's too late in the game. You won it.
So let me just pose a hypothetical question, Adam, for you, because you haven't done the adaptive format that Andrew and I have
I
done
have
yet. How many chains do you think you would bid for a deck that you think is better than another deck? But I mean, like, let's take 2 decks. They battle it out, and one wins 3 keys to 1, and it wins that way both times. Like, how many chains do you think you'd be willing to go for that?
So, it really does depend what houses and what cards and random stuff is in the deck. But if it went 3 to 1, it depends. Because I would probably go past the 1 power level by a little bit. Not
Not a lot.
Like 7 or 8.
Yeah, like 7 or 8. I might even just go to 6, because
Fair enough.
So if I
I don't wanna lose
bid
to-
6,
yeah,
do you think you might go to 7?
I think I would go to 7.
And then if I go 8, do you think you'd go to 9?
Probably not.
Yeah.
These decks are like close, you know. I mean, it isn't like playing Andrew's deck with no chains against like your deck, where it would just be a 3-0 every time.
Yeah.
You know, these decks are somewhat close, and you think there's some synergies in there. This is where I struggle. Like, I don't know.
I don't think I would. Maybe I would just say yes to see if the other person goes up higher than me.
That's what I was kind of hoping for you to do, actually. When I went to 9.
But I probably wouldn't go up. No, I would probably take the safer route.
And the other thing I think about is like, and just give you guys a story. When I first played Magic the Gathering, this was back in the early 2000s. I remember asking someone. I was super naive at card games at the time. Like, that's about when I really started playing really good card games. It's like, let's see how many years ago that would be. Like 15 years ago, ish. I've been playing. But I was at work, and I remember somebody was teaching me how to play Magic. And I'm like, okay, so does that mean if I build a deck and you build a deck, that anybody's deck can win just based on how you play? Like, is it based purely on skill? And their answer was no. Their answer was like, typically the best deck, you have to have a good competitive deck and have good skill to beat someone that has a good competitive deck and have good skill. Like, there's a combination of both of those. So if someone pays more money, basically, they get a better deck, and they're always going to win against someone that doesn't have a better deck.
Makes sense.
Doesn't have a good deck.
Well, that seems kind of wrong.
And I was like, man, that is not cool. I don't like this at all.
Well, KeyForge is different. It's just chains.
And you just buy
KeyForge, you spend $10.
Yeah. And you could get like the best deck ever.
And then you get chained to your local game group. Like, if you're playing with a bunch of like friends that you have and you know what deck's better, chain that thing up and like see where the limits are. Like, see where it brings it up, and everything can stay super equal. So it makes me really, really, really love that about KeyForge, is that $10, even the worst deck can potentially compete with, you know, as long as everything's chained and evened out over time.
Yeah.
The other cool thing is that you can level your deck up. I think that is the most awesome thing.
I feel like some decks are level 8.
Yeah, you know, I don't know how I feel about that completely, because I was watching a talk from Brad Andres from GDC. Brad Andres is like one of the guys from Fantasy Flight Games that I think he's also the lead or main designer that works with Richard Garfield on it.
Oh, cool.
And so he was talking at a game developers conference, and he mentioned something in there that at power level 8, those decks can no longer compete in local tournaments
Oh.
because they're too high pit level.
Yeah.
And I haven't
Interesting.
seen that like advertised somewhere. So like, if you take something and you do well at a vault tour, you can't play that in your local tournament anymore.
So if we
That's kind of weird.
if we take the decks we're building now, our best decks, and go to the Vault tournament and we do good, we can't take them to our local tournaments.
If they get to I don't know what level, but he specifically said power level 8 in that video. So I don't know if that's the limit. But the weird thing about it is, we're going to be in a sealed tournament when we go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's 3 sealed decks. You play one, you have to play with that same deck all the way through. Does that mean the top decks there become power level 8?
Maybe.
And then now, you can't play that at your local tournament?
Well,
that seems weird a little bit.
It
That
does.
does seem
I didn't really realize that.
What I would love to figure out, maybe someone at home knows, is it power level 5 and higher can't play at your local tournament?
that would make more sense.
It's just once you get to level 5 and higher, you can't play? Or is it something
level 4.
different?
Maybe level 4.
Maybe level 4. Because, you think about, if you earned power level by yourself, really, and you got up to power level 3, you have been crushing it. Because you're down 3 cards now for some at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I feel like getting your deck up to, 13 chains would just be horrible. It'd be fun, it'd be awesome, but it'd be horribly hard.
Yeah. That's gonna be hard to win.
The other thing, okay, so going back to chains, and I think chains is an awesome conversation. So chains give us a way to balance. It actually works really well. I think it's a phenomenal thing, phenomenal mechanic. But the thing that I notice is a lot of people forget to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I've played against people in tournaments, and they'll have 3 chains and they forget about it.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it'll be 3 or 4 turns later, and it's oh, I forgot my chains. The game's way different at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy different. So then it's okay, we'll start using them now. And I know you've forgotten them, I've forgotten them. I think all of us forgotten them. So what I've started doing is I started putting stuff on top of my deck.
I have too, yeah.
Just to remember that I have chains. But I still have my card over here with the chain counter on it. So when I look at my deck, I'm when I go to draw, I have to make sure I'm moving the chain down.
Exactly, yeah.
Is that the tip? That's the tip you guys have for people?
I have been doing that, yeah.
Cool.
And also other strategies is I have my chain counter right above my deck or below my deck, so that when I'm reaching, chains. Can't forget about that.
Yeah. So, Andrew, what do you think about cards that give your opponent chains? Because there's a new card in the new set that does that.
That's
How many
amazing.
chains?
3.
2. Oh, that was 3.
What
Or
house?
2. This. Yeah.
I think it's 3. I'll have to double check, but basically it's you get 3 chains.
I think that's
It's
pretty
like an
awesome.
action. You just
Yeah.
play, just game 3 chains.
What would be fun is playing against your deck. It's hey, Andrew, you have 8 chains? No, you have 11 now. That seems way better.
It's painful.
Yeah.
Because it not only
It matters more.
it matters more than
yeah.
the difference between that first tier and that second tier is enormous.
It's huge.
And I learned that in that adaptive thing that we did because I was getting 2 less cards that's a huge difference. So I guess what do you think of those cards? You think there should be more of those?
I mean, it's more fun, I guess. Will it be more annoying for the opponent, though? But I think so. I think that'd be pretty powerful, but not just action gain 3 chains, but you should gain at least 1 chain out of it. You gain 1 chain, your opponent gains 3 chains.
Or what if you both gain 3 chains, but you gain amber for playing the card though?
Yeah, you gain 2 amber,
Oh, I hate those cards.
gain 2 amber, both gain 3 chains.
So,
that would be.
So the card that they've announced just says, I don't think it gives amber, but I have to double check. It's just your opponent gains 3 chains. That's all it does.
So that sounds really good, but
What
then
if there's an artifact? It's an omni artifact. Every house, your opponent gains 3 chains. Or 1 chain. Just
sacrifice this and all your opponents gain 3 chains.
That'll be good for multiplayer.
That would be good for multiplayer.
I-
People would hate you.
So for me, I feel making a card that puts chains on people is kind of unfair in my opinion, because the higher the deck, the more value on that chain card is. So then, if you do get super high and you have 2 real competitive decks playing against each other, and one person has that card, that's a huge advantage against the other deck. So I think like in huge tournaments, that card shouldn't be able to play, because then the other person would get a huge, way more bigger advantage, in my opinion.
Interesting.
But if you think about other decks, are going to have that card too, so it's pretty much equal.
Yeah, but then if the other deck doesn't have that card, just...
I don't know if 3 chains matters that much, is what I keep going
It's level 1, so you only just lose 1 chain. If it was go to power 2, then it would be really damaged. But I don't think they're going to go that far.
What I would love to do is like Nepenthe Seed, first gain 3 chains, Nepenthe Seed, bring back it, gain another 3 chains.
Oh my god.
Figure out a way to bring it back again, another 3 chains. I want to get them up to that level 2, make it lose by a card. I really don't think that first tier matters as much as what I used to think. Like, I'm not afraid to get anything between, when I blow up the board and get 3 chains, it's like, whatever, 3 chains.
Exactly, yeah.
It doesn't matter to me anymore. When I first started playing, chains were like the plague. Like, I didn't want to get chains from card no matter what, and I was like, it's one of the reasons I really hated Phosphorus Stars, and I still really hate that card. Because it doesn't do anything, but it's done everything. And it gives you 2 chains, but 2 chains isn't as bad as what I used to think it was.
I mean, stunning everything can be pretty useful if your opponent has like 13 creatures on
If
the
it
board.
only stunned only your enemy stuff. That card for
Yeah.
giving you chains should only stun your enemy. I mean, Sanctum has a card that gives you Amber, lets you call a house,
And
stun
all
all of it. They also have a card that lets you stun everything not on the flank, all enemy creatures not on the flank.
Yeah.
That's an awesome card. I love
It's
that.
like, but then you got Phosphorus Stars, stun everything, and you get 2 chains. So it's like, that's bad. Like, it's just bad.
It is,
Yeah.
Sanctum's got way better stunning. I don't know, maybe that's just something Mars isn't supposed to be good at.
Ragnar has some good stinking stuff.
They had good stunning too. But I guess overall, that kind of wraps up all my things that I had on chains. Do you guys have anything else on them?
No, not really. Just remember to use the chains.
Don't forget to use them, and use them even in your local play group, just to make it more fun.
Yeah.
And if you got a new player, there's no reason that you couldn't start with 10 chains to let that new opponent get the handle on how things are working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So heading into next week, I think we are gonna have to start really preparing for the Vault Tour that we're gonna be going to in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think that means a couple things, but first and foremost, there's gonna be side events with Archons and stuff. We're gonna be looking for reversal decks for some of the reversal side events. The main event's gonna be 3 sealed decks. Pick one and battle it out. That's gonna be tricky and tough.
Yes.
I really hope it's the new set.
Oh yeah, that'd be
That'll be
awesome.
amazing, because it's right on the border of when it comes out, the new Ascension.
I can't believe they still haven't announced a date yet for that. I still can't believe that.
No, I thought it did.
They haven't announced a date. I've heard end of May, I've heard June, I've heard end of June. But I can't find anything official on that.
Well, it's a
They're
huge
probably gonna make
chance.
a surprise and here's the new cards, guys.
Wouldn't that be amazing? A week before, it's you're playing sealed event with the new. Because to me, that is where my skill shines, is because I can look at a deck really quickly. But yeah, I really hope it's the new cards. I super hope it's the new card.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be incredible.
But I guess overall, we need to play a ton on the Crucible. We need to practice a bunch.
We should also practice looking at some of the decks here, do random decks here.
Yeah,
and then
do
look at it before, compare it to 2 decks and be like, which deck's better? And then
Do
play
the
it out.
hidden chains also.
Yeah, we should do more.
Adaptive.
But if they do give us the new decks, the new cards, a new set, we would not know which is more better. Shadow, it could be Mars that's the most dominant out of the new set. Or
I think,
Mars.
if you've been doing your
Shadow.
research, you probably would get a good feel.
I feel all the cards aren't released yet, but I feel I have a good enough understanding of the game now that I could look at a deck and tell how it compares to the current power level of cards and be able to make a good judgment call on which deck is better.
But the thing is, though, the new names for each card, though, for the new set.
Well,
new-
yeah.
Yeah.
You mean new ability names?
Yeah.
Well, there's
So we
definitely
can't so we can't just look at the Archon card and okay. That's
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I won't know what any cards mean. I'm going to actually have to go through it. It's going to take longer. You're definitely right. I'm going to have to go through each card and read them. Or right now with the Archon card, I get 90% of the cards I can remember by name, and I can know what they are by looking at the Archon card
I had
based on the house. But I mean, there are little things. There are rare cards that still pop up every once in a while.
Exactly.
It's like I don't know what that does. I gotta go look at that.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about this game. But anyway, that I would recommend though. That GDC talk with Brad Andres talking about how they built KeyForge. Super awesome to take some time to listen to and watch. They talk about how they randomize the decks. They talk about how they randomize the Archon. They talk about how they pick the names. They talk about a lot of that stuff.
Really?
The challenges they had across the board. So just a really cool video.
Cool. Yeah.
Other than that, there is no tournaments coming up that I know of, unfortunately.
No.
Our local game store has kind of like tailed off of putting out KeyForge tournaments for a little bit. They're waiting for the new set, they said. So hopefully soon. Although they did say one was going to be in May, I haven't seen it posted yet. I keep looking, but I haven't seen it posted yet.
I mean, they get money from doing it. I don't know.
Not enough people have been showing up lately, unfortunately.
I feel like if they just do sealed tournaments.
If they just do sealed, 20 people are definitely going to show up and you're going to make so much money.
It seems like the sealed is where people show up, but it's been a while. I would love to do a sealed tournament again, by the way.
Me too, yeah.
I guess that's all for this week. I love like making these videos, and I just kind of like share with everybody that if there's any other topics or ideas that you've got that you want us to talk about, please feel free to share them below. And keep gaming like we
Yeah,
keep gaming. See you guys next time. Bye.
See you later. See you guys.